Welcome back. This is your host, Gabriel, and what a fun game we had today between Croatia and Brazil. Brazil with the possession for the most part and more chances. Croatia playing really strong in the back. Livakovic, the keeper, with the outstanding performance. He had at least 3 point-blank saves, while Alisson was not that busy. A very physical game. There were lots of yellow cards. Modric, just incredible performances. 37-year-old, still playing at top level in the world. Just amazing. Neymar did very little for most of the game. He was starting to look like the typical frustrated Neymar who starts arguing with everybody and gives away stupid fouls and everything. But then, as we were about to end the first period of the extra time, stroke of genius, a give and go with Lucas Paqueta and a fantastic goal. And it looked like everything was going Brazil's way. I mean, it was only 15 minutes to go, and just scoring right before the break is also a heavy blow. But Croatia just picked up, and the second half of the extra time was all about Croatia. Lots of pressure, very few ideas. Pretty much like Brazil, the second half of the regular time, they were just sending long balls, looking for somebody to head it. Croatia was doing exactly the same, sending long balls, hoping that Pekovic or somebody else would just connect the header. But nothing really happened for the most part. It was weird to see Brazil wasting time the way they did at some point, like taking dives and kicking the ball out when they were supposed to do a throw. But then, as we were like 4 minutes to go, a fast counterattack after like a very dangerous situation for Brazil, and Petkovic ended taking a long shot, like just from the limit of the 18 yards, that bounced off a defender and went in. Incredible goal by Petkovic, and then it was what they say is the lottery of the penalty kicks, but there was no lottery here. Once again, Livakovic was absolutely outstanding, making a save of Rodrigo's shot, who was the first person to shoot, and then being very close to save Casemiro's shot as well. Pedro scored a beautiful goal. He did a little stop there on my track right before I kick, and then Livakovic went to his left way too early. It was easy for Pedro to score, and then Marquinhos hitting the post, and then sealing Croatia's qualification for the semifinals. On the Croatian side, everybody, Blesic, Meyer, Modric, and Orsic, they scored very well executed penalty kicks. Blesic and Meyer, the first two, were like right to the center of the net. Like Blesic like high, Meyer not that high, and then Modric and Orsic to their left, right by the post, impossible to save. So Brazil, after that big win against South Korea, they were already celebrating in advance. There were contests in Brazil about where to put the sixth star in the Brazilian shield or crest, and I think they celebrated way too early, and now they're going home. Very sad. Neymar didn't even get to take his penalty kick. He always goes last, so he can be the one winning the goal and they win the game and everything, but he didn't even get to take his shot. And on the plus side for Neymar, he scored his 77th goal, so he tied Pelé as the historical top scorer for the Brazilian national team. Unfortunately, he will have to wait a few months until he gets to go past him and get his 78th goal. So, first game of quarterfinals, first surprise in the World Cup, full of surprises. Very few people were expecting Croatia to advance. But well done, Croatians. Like, this absolutely outstanding performance by them. They played really good soccer. It was a very intense game, fun to watch, very interesting. Croatia still on the run, playing semifinals for the second World Cup in the row, and Brazil going back home. Lots of thinking for them to do. Tite definitely made mistakes here with the formation, kept some players for way too long, and then he should have made substitutions earlier in the game. The subs proved to be better than the ones who were starting the game. Same happened with Croatia. The substitution really worked for them. So now is Argentina and Netherlands will play just in a few minutes. And I'm recording this now because I don't know if after the next game I'm going to be either too sad or without a voice.
Wow. What a match day. first games of the quarterfinals played, and wow, was it ever a doozy. First of all, Croatia, Brazil, one of the upsets of the many upsets, which seem to just be the tournament of upsets this year at the 2022 World Cup. Croatia beating Brazil on penalties. Fair play to Brazil. Neymar with a great performance and a great goal. I mean, you really can't hate on Neymar. He's done everything right up to this point, It's kind of heartbreaking for Brazil, but at the same time, somewhat funny because everyone wanted Brazil to win, and everyone thought they were going to, tournament favorites, etc., etc. Bye-bye again. Quarterfinals, again out. But, this is what happens when you don't game plan correctly, and, Croatia were doing really well on the transition and in the counterattack, and Brazil's counter press was, for the most part, very lackadaisical. So these are things that do happen when you don't adjust in-game and make the wrong adjustments, like taking, your pedal off the gas when you are in a good spot. That being said, Croatia threw on penalties again, mimicking their 2018 run to the final so far, pretty much. And we'll have to see what they do in the semifinal against Argentina, who beat Netherlands in the second game, also on penalties. Definitely my favorite game so far from the tournament. I mean, just what a game. So much drama. History from the 2014 World Cup. Just a great game all around. That being said, one of the worst refereeing performances I've ever seen in my whole entire lifetime, my whole 17 years of being on planet Earth. Horrible refereeing all around. I think that both teams at times got the short end of the stick, but I think that Netherlands did get screwed out of a few bigger calls in the game. I don't think it was a penalty for Argentina, which gave them the second goal. I really don't. I thought it was very light and weak. And I thought that Dumfries didn't do enough to get up the penalty. It was his trailing leg. I didn't think that there was much contact. I thought the Argentine player was already going to ground. But a penalty is a penalty, and Messi scores, which Messi, great performance, definitely deserved the man of the match today. Goal, assist, slide home the penalty in the penalty shootout. As well as Paredes not getting a red card, which is crazy to me. A dangerous tackle, and then just recklessly, just shooting the ball at the Dutch bench. That would be an easy red card for me, honestly. And not giving Messi at least a card for just handing the ball in open play. It doesn't matter if it wasn't a close, penalty or that. Like, it still should be a yellow card. It was very intentional. But that's okay. It's in the past. Now Argentina are through to the semifinal against Croatia. Definitely an interesting game. But, yeah. Forgot to mention it, but a great job by Netherlands to even get back in the game in the first place. I thought that it definitely took a lot for them to get back into the game. The system change and going more with a direct approach at the end with two more classic number 9s, I guess you would say. Two target men really helped them. Crossing the ball in and headers was a really vital part of their game towards the end of the game, and playing long balls into their chest. And what a substitution from Louis van Gaal. I mean, just always bringing on super subs at the right time. He has a real knack for actually choosing a player to come on and change the game. Me personally, I probably would never have took out Depay for Weghorst. I probably would have took off a defender switch system and bring Weghorst on for one of the defenders and give us more of a numerical advantage up top, and leave Depay on as he's a pretty good player and a special player for Holland. But and speaking of Weghorst, great performance in the time he got to play, scoring 2 goals, scoring in the dying seconds off the set piece to even put Netherlands in a spot to challenge for the game and add extra time and beyond. Also scored his penalty in the shootout, but just came up short, which is unfortunate, but definitely a super sub and will not be forgotten about in this tournament or in this video. Props to Netherlands.
Yeah!
Three-two final. 3-2 final.
It's loose. It's loose.
Well, I knew I was going to lose my voice today. Quite happy to celebrate Argentina's victory and moving to the semifinals against Croatia on Tuesday. But boy, that was a nail biter. Argentina took a lead and 2-0 with 83 minutes into the game. It looked like we were coasting towards a very comfortable victory, and then a mistake in the back, and Netherlands puts the score 2-1. And they always say that 2-0 is the worst score that you can have, and proved right. After the referee gave 150 minutes of extra time, Netherlands found a very cheeky goal, and almost in the last play of the game to tie it and go into extra time. I honestly thought that Netherlands were going to take advantage of the momentum. Like, if they had pressed a little more in the extra time, they would have probably won it. But instead, they chose to just push back and waste time. Like, the keeper was wasting time 2 minutes into the extra time. I couldn't believe that. I was watching the game with a few friends, and one of them was Dutch, and I was telling him, there is no way they're doing this. Netherlands had the game at that point. They could have won it, but they just squandered it. They gave it away. And the second half of those extra 30 minutes was all about Argentina. They had so many chances. They had so many opportunities to score the winning goal. And then we ended going to the penalty kicks, where Martinez made up for his previous mistakes and made two amazing saves and led Argentina into a 4-3 win. What can you say about the game? I think Scaloni made a couple mistakes with the formation. I don't think playing 5-3-2 was a good idea. And the proof is that he replaced 4 of those 5 guys who started in the back. The only one who played the entire game was Otamendi, and it was a justified decision. Like, he's still playing great. He's probably the best performer of the Argentine national team so far this World Cup. And then on the other side of the field, Messi, always Messi. He made an impossible pass, an impossible through ball for Molina to score the first goal, and then he scored the penalty kick. 1 goal, 1 assist. People were saying that Messi never scored in the knockout phases of the World Cup. He has 2 goals in a row now. So what can you say about the guy? He is the best. And now Netherlands, surprisingly poor. Like, they didn't have too many chances during the 90 minutes. It wasn't only at the end of the game that they actually generated some opportunities, and they actually scored 2 goals out of 2 shots they had on target. So very effective. But what about the first 83 minutes of the game? There was almost nothing. And then, as I said, Scaloni made mistakes. I think Van Gaal's biggest mistake was to talk. He talked too much before the game. He made the same mistake that John Herman made for Canada. He just boasted before the game was over. The same way the Brazilians were talking about where to put the 6 star in their shield, in their emblem, even before they played the quarterfinal game. Now they're just booking their flight home. So you got to be gracious in defeat, but you have to be even more gracious in victory. And never, never count your money until you leave the table. So, player of the game, I don't know. I like Molina a lot. Second game in a row, he's been really, really good. I liked Messi, of course. Not much from Julian Alvarez. I was very happy to see that that we had a lot of backup. We have depth in this team. Martinez went in and scored the final penalty kick. I would pick Messi as the main player.
Predictions for tomorrow. First of all, we have Portugal against Morocco. Definitely an interesting game, especially Morocco being a very defensive side compared to Portugal, which are a very offensive side. Just like in my Morocco against Spain prediction, I think that Portugal will eventually break them, even though Spain didn't. I think that while Spain can pass the ball around and do nothing with it, I think Portugal can do something with it. They have lots of creativity, and they have some finishers on that team. They have Goncalo Ramos, they have Felix, they have Leao, and they have Ronaldo, who's probably going to start off the bench again. That's what I would do. I think it's nonsense to bring him on just because he's a big name and just because he's Ronaldo. I think that's nonsense. I don't care. You should not be entitled to anything. It should be your merit and what you actually bring to the team currently, and not just off of nostalgia. And if Ramos is running on good form, you start the better player who's on form. That's just how it is in my mind. Anyways, I'm going to go with a 1-0 prediction for Portugal. I think they're going to eventually score later in the game and break the deadlock and go through to the semifinal. Second game, England against France. Me being a France fan, this is a huge game, politically wise, if you look back in history, and just a huge game in general. Huge rivalry between the two nations. I think this will be Mbappe's biggest test in terms of who can individually stop him the best. I think that Kyle Walker definitely poses a threat, can match him for pace better than pretty much anyone else, I'd say. And just a really good defender. I think that all around England have been good defensively but bad at the same time. It's just a classic England side who are pretty stubborn and hard to break down and beat. They play really negative football. I do not like watching them play. And I just have a general dislike for the England team, but that will not blind me in making this prediction. My head wants to say like 4-0, but I know it's realistically more of a 2-1 for France, so I'm going to say 2-1. I think that England can score. They have lots of threats up top, and France's defense can be leaky at times too. But I just think that our attack is too good, and we're just too good as a unit to fall to a team like England, even though they are good as well. So I'll say 2-1 for France against England. We'll move on to the semifinals, playing Portugal soon.
So tomorrow, 10 a.m., is going to be Morocco against Portugal at the Al Tumana Stadium, and the game is going to be refereed by Facundo Tello from Argentina. Probably his last game before he heads back home, because now Argentina is in semifinals. I guess that is it for Tello and all the other Argentine referees who have historically done really, really well at World Cup. There were many World Cups where either the referee for the inaugural game or the final game or both were Argentinian. And I remember, I think it was 2006, where both the first game and the last game were refereed by Esposito, the Argentine referee. And so, what to expect from this game? Well, Morocco, they're on a roll. They beat Spain, sure, through the penalty kicks, but they beat them. They have a historic opportunity to put an African team in the semifinals tomorrow. I know they're going to do everything they can to make it. Supported by a great defense with Bono in net, and then Hakimi and Salsa and many players in the back are really good defenders. And then like Ziyech and what's his name? Nasiri, the striker, number 9. Well, he plays with 19, but number 9. They can do it. On the other side of the field, that's going to be Portugal, also playing 4-3-3, also with a strong defense, with Pepe and Ruben Diaz in the center-back position. Pepe is just fresh of scoring a goal, 39 years of age, was amazing. And then Bruno Fernandes, Gonzalo Ramos? Will Gonzalo Ramos play again? He got a hat-trick. Is Cristiano Ronaldo going to be in the bench again? It's going to be interesting to see. I would say he will start off the bench, and I think this is going to be a closer game than most people think. And but then yet again, I've been wrong to pretty much every single prediction I have made so far. So, but I expect this is going to go into penalty kicks as well. And if that happens, I have 5 cents on Morocco. So I will predict a 1-1 tie, and then Morocco on shootout. A little more comfy for the second game, which is probably going to be that game of the quarterfinals between England and France. This game is going to be at the Albayt Stadium, and the referee is going to be Welton Sampaio from Brazil, who, if he does well, he will get the chance to stay because Brazil is going home. So what to expect? England doing well so far, a couple of big wins, a couple of individual performances that are outstanding. My favorite player in the English team is Bellingham for sure, but then Harry Kane scored a few goals, Saka as well. Not bad at all. But they have France, and France is just so powerful right now. Dembele, Griezmann, Mbappe, Olivier Giroud. They have so many players with high quality. It's going to be an interesting game. England with their 4-3-3 formation, France with the 4-2-3-1, with Giroud chasing everything. I think the key is on the British defense to be able to stop Mbappe. Mbappe can spend like 80 minutes in the game doing nothing, like in the last game, and then just in 3 minutes, 2 goals. He's so unpredictable. So anything could happen. You see my voice? That's completely shot. Anything could happen tomorrow. I will predict a 2-1 victory for France, just through the power of their individual talent. It's going to be a heavy tactical game, strategy-wise as well. It kind of reminds me of the Formula One races, where the top 2 teams are so close to each other that most races are won during the pit stops. It depends on the strategy the team has. It's pretty much the same thing. Whatever the British or the French coaches decide might get them the win tomorrow. So like I said, 2-1 for France, and France advancing to the semifinals, which will be played on Wednesday. Now, after tomorrow, we won't have any games on Sunday or Monday, and then after Wednesday, quarterfinals. My mistake, semifinals. We won't have any games until Saturday. We will stay around. We will have daily podcasts. Anyway, I have some ideas. We'll have some questions. We'll talk about favorite players, favorite games, do some recaps. So we're still going to be around, but not to worry about that. Tomorrow we have 2 fantastic games, so let's get ready to enjoy them.